Like, good afternoon, everyone. Hopefully you have had a fantastic time. I really cannot believe that A, this happened, and B, it's over already. We've kind of been looking forward to this since probably like April, when we really decided that we were going to buckle down and do this. And now that it's here, I can't believe it's already over. I definitely had a blast talking with everyone today and this week. I think it was really a great chance for us to reach out to as many people as possible that are interested in esports in Illinois. And I think we got a lot of good content out from this this conference. A lot of stuff that we'll be able to pass on for months and months if they, for people who need help without having to answer the same question over and over again. Like sometimes we end up having to do, which we love to do, but when you just spend 30 minutes talking to someone about how to coach Fortnite, and then the next person the next week asks you, hey, how do I coach Fortnite? You do the next 30 minutes again and say, here's how you can do it. So I think it was really great that we were able to put this all together for everyone and actually get a lot of really good material out of it. Dalton, how do you feel?
I feel awesome. It was a blast to get to meet. The networking was fun. Get to meet some new faces or put faces to names I already knew. That was a fun one because so much of esports is playing with people you never see their face. And in particular, the closing keynote the other day was really, really special. I loved getting to hear our esports doctor talk.
Yeah, and I think that was kind of, to me, like a lot of stuff she was talking about was really like hitting home of stuff that we really should be doing and be more active in our clubs and in our groups to make sure we're inclusive for everyone, because that's kind of what esports is, and that's something that we should live by. So, Terp, how was your week? You're muted, sir. As always. Still muted.
I think you're muted on Hopin.
Yeah. Nope.
Terp had a wonderful week, everybody, and he was glad to get to talk about Overwatch and share his thoughts and feelings.
The guy who presented 3 times can't figure out how to work the stage. It's okay. Nope, still muted. Oh, he's coming back.
Terp needs tech support.
Yeah, he literally did 3 sessions, no problem. I jumped in every one of them. Everything went smoothly, and then of course we get on stage, and that's when the problem happens. But we are excited for you guys all to be here for this last session. This was kind of like a way for us to, bring together a lot of the information that people have been asking for without doing it separately. Terp's back.
We can hear him now too.
Can you?
Yes.
Oh, there we go. Excellent.
Yes. So how was your week, Terp?
I was going to say the sessions that I was watching, the sessions that I was speaking in, I thought that the participation level was amazing. It was great that there were so many people involved, and the comments were very supportive, and the inquiries were good. So Dalton and I really appreciate. I enjoyed our one that we had together. I thought we paired up so well, and it hit all the points that I wanted to. And I agree with your comments about all the keynote speakers that we've had. I thought a lot of that stuff was very enlightening, and the depth was awesome. So as Todd mentioned, this was I think a little bit. We weren't expecting this to go as well, and we're very happy that it did.
Awesome. And that's the kind of thing. It's like that's we don't get this chance to do this, and we're hoping next year to do something like this too, possibly in person, and also possibly do a hybrid. Have another day where we're just all online all day, doing stuff and attending sessions and whatnot. Because I think this was a really great opportunity for those who don't have access to travel, and that people that can, may not be able to make it to a certain spot. I mean, there's plenty of schools that would be willing to host, plenty of places that would love to have an organization like ours be there, but not everyone is able to travel. And, who knows with the world climate, what it's going to be like in a year, next summer when we're looking to do this again. So we definitely had a great enough response to this that we're going to do it again next year, and we'll see how it goes from there. But this is the closing session. There's a lot of stuff that we're going to talk about here. A lot of information about this upcoming year. So if you're here, this is a great session for you to get a lot of this information, questions we've been getting asked for quite a while. So without further ado, what do you do now? First thing, our community starts on Discord. That's pretty much where all of us live. is on Discord. If you haven't joined our Discord, go ahead and join it. It might be a little bit before we get you verified, but our Discord is a safe place for all of our coaches as well as our students to communicate. Some of the great stories that happened this past year was a lot of kids getting together to create their own amateur team for Overwatch. Kids that would never have been able to talk to each other or be part of those same communities because they're on separate sides of the state, from very different locales and very different communities in themselves. So very rare chance that they would have met outside of IHSEA. But our group is all about creating this community, this partnership between all of our different schools and different students. We're not there to, just get you guys to run a tournament. We wanted to create this holistic community for esports in Illinois. So if you haven't joined it, go ahead and join it. There's a little verification process when you go through it. Definitely, if you have any problems, reach out to us. But if you ever need questions answered, Discord is the place to be. We all essentially live on Discord. I have it open all the time on my phone. I literally have a third monitor that is just my Discord screen. I'm praying it doesn't go bad because it's always the same screen all the time. But head to our Discord. And if you have kids, send the students as well. We do verify that they are actually students. We'll talk about that again in a little bit. But we are a closed community. We only allow current active students as well as current active coaches and teachers. So it is very well policed. There's no advertising. It's appropriate. And that's what we strive for, is to try to keep it safe for everyone. Next thing we want to talk about is two really big partnerships this year that we have made. The first one being with Extra Life. If you didn't catch the Extra Life session yesterday, we definitely will have that recording up, but then we also plan on doing a live session on Twitch. Fall schedule. You guys are not seeing my slides?
No.
Oh, nope. It's what do you do now is all we've got. Oh, okay. No, you took it away.
But we're glad to know when Overwatch and Rocket League start.
Yeah. The little head nod to the amateur team, the Children of the Corn. So there you guys go. There's your plug. So, yes. But yeah, literally suburban students as well as those far east and far south in the state formed up on an amateur team together. And it's very, very cool to see that occur with our kids. So opponents for one day and all of a sudden teammates the next.
It looks like it was just me and Terp that couldn't see for some reason, but everybody else could. So we're good now.
Okay.
Awesome. I was just like, wait, I thought it was working because it looked like good on my screen. It looked good on that one. So
you can't have nice things.
Yep. All right. That makes me feel comfortable. I was like, oh man, totally messed that up. Cool. Thanks everyone for checking in. It's just obviously the people on stage. Cool. So two partnerships. So yes, the Extra Life meeting was yesterday. I actually didn't get to watch it as much as I wanted to because it's something I've been working on now for a year to get this partnership set up. And so we will have that recording, but then like I was saying, we also have a session scheduled whenever the podcast kicks off. They'll probably be our first guest on there, as well as our other partner that I'll talk about in a second. To explain what our stuff is, and so we'll talk about that on the next slide for Extra Life. The other one is UGC. UGC is I totally forgot. Is it Universal Gaming Championship? I believe that's what the UGC stands for. I can't remember. It's been so long since I looked it up because I just know them as UGC. Dalton with the Google flu.
Yeah, we can.
But UGC will
United
be
United Gaming Community.
What is it?
United Gaming Community.
I totally was wrong.
I've also referred to them as UGC, Ultimate Gaming Championship. Andy just said something different.
Well, I guess we'll
go
find
with
out.
Andy. Yeah,
we're gonna go with. We always call them UGC, and they're wonderful people.
Yes. So UGC has stepped into the realm of scholastic esports, and so they're helping out a lot of nonprofit organizations that are running esports. They are actually local to Illinois. They're way down in southern Illinois, and so they were excited to work with us finally because they've been working with a couple other groups, and we're happy to have the help because they are actually looking to help us with some streaming stuff as well as also consolidate a lot of the other stuff that we wanted to do that we might not be able to. They have a lot of connections in the esports industry. They run a lot of big events for esports. So we're very happy to be partnering with them and being able to work with them to help us on a lot of these things. What does that mean for you? Well, first thing first, we'll talk about Extra Life. What we have coming up is the Extra Life Game Day, October 2nd, and there'll be a lot more information and flyers and everything about this getting passed around. Pardon me. Let me just get you that link because I forgot to copy it onto my form. But we will have an event for specifically related to Extra Life. It's super important to me to be able to show our schools that give back. That it's important for our students to show how you can give back as a gamer. And to me, I identified with Extra Life years ago. I've been actually doing it for 7 years. It's a nonprofit organization that provides money for local hospitals in the Children's Miracle Network. For me in Chicago, it's the Laureate Children's Hospital. There are 2 other hospitals in Illinois. I believe one is in Peoria and the other one's in Springfield that are part of this Children's Miracle Network. And so the idea is that each school raises money for their own school's team, essentially, and you guys can select whatever hospital you'd want to give the money to. Some schools might even want to give to hospitals in Missouri if you're down by the St. Louis border, or Tennessee. You might want to do that if that's ends up where you end up going, for your medical needs. But the whole idea is you can create a team at your school and run events at your school around Extra Life. What we're saying is Extra Life Game Day is October 2nd. I'm hoping to have the IHSEA stream open for 24 hours, hopefully on a rotation of different people, handling different times, different events. But then we also want to promote our schools to do what they can on this day. If it's 12 hours, 10 hours, 5 hours, do an event at their school, whatever it might be. We want to promote them doing their own events on that same day so we can kind of have this big celebration leading up to this. So there's a form if you want to get your school signed up now. It's really simple. It's really easy. Donations are collected fairly easy, all online. You can do cash collections too, but it's a lot easier to do online receipt tracking and things like that. So definitely check that out. Again, more information will be provided at a later date as we get closer to school starting, which for some of you guys is next week. But we definitely plan on doing some prizes and awards for schools and participants, some from Extra Life directly, some from IHSEA, based on how well your school is doing in this fundraiser. So it's another way for us to give back to our other communities who might be less fortunate than us. Those who have been around a while know how annoying it is sometimes to submit your rosters and how many Google Forms do you have to submit. Well, we're hoping this year to launch 2 new team management platforms. One will essentially be managing your rosters and your schools who are participating at your school. And that will also link with their Discord. So once you put their Discord in, it will associate them with that school. And we won't have this long verification process on Discord anymore once this goes live. So that way you don't have to worry about filling out 8 or maybe even 16 Google Forms for each roster. I know that was a headache with this platform. Once you assign the student on there, you put their gamer name in there, and then it automatically transfers down to be on. You can automatically put them on the team. So it makes it a lot simpler, all one platform in place once you do that initial upload of information. The nice thing about this too is that it allows us to manage these rosters, and we're going to transfer them over to UGC. So your schools will go over to UGC. The whole idea is that we have our separate in-house platform for managing your team, and then UGC will actually take care of the bracket management for us. The only thing that you'll have to worry about is putting students into the student management form, and then UGC will take care of all the brackets. So one place for team management, other place for actual games and entering your wins and losses, etc. So hopefully this will simplify a lot of the Google form and all of that. Would it also correlate to NASEF rosters for games that we're playing in a partner? I don't think so, because NASEF did close down a lot of their stuff, and so they were supposed to have a lot of that connection initially with some of their stuff. So that might be just another step if you do want to play in the NASEF games. The problem is we don't know what they're playing or when they're playing it, so we can't give you any updates on their schedule yet. But I'm excited for the 2 new team platforms because it will allow us to run things a lot more smoothly and have it look a lot better than, trying to fill out a Google form and need to change something or made an error and have to redo a whole form with, 12 kids at some point. So, all right. So what is the first step from here? A lot of background information. What do you need to do at this point if you want to start esports? Well, first thing you need to do is make sure you can check permissions. Do you have permission to put on this club? Definitely check with your school, check with your board if need be, check with your district. Make sure that this is something that they're aware of that you're doing, because there could be a lot of conflict depending on how it goes along. So after you make sure you get the okay, first thing is to assign a general manager for the team. This is somebody that is very important and crucial to your team and also to the IHSEA. This definitely should be an adult that's in the building. Should not be a student as the general manager. They should also be cleared for coaching. So if it is a volunteer, maybe a former student or alumni, make sure that whatever requirements you have to clear someone to be a volunteer coach for a sport, you get that proper status for them, just to make sure everything is okay. There are no mandatory trainings or anything yet for esports. Like there's the concussion training and like that for other games, for other activities. But excuse me, make sure they are cleared for coaching. This general manager will be responsible for all communication with IHSEA and students. So between IHSEA, we will contact the general manager. That general manager will then contact the students or the teams of what needs to happen. So they have to be in contact with us throughout the season. So they can't be someone who just says, oh, here's the kids and, have fun babysitting them type thing. It's not a drop the kids off at the activity and then, come back 3 hours later. We really want them to be in communication with us a lot of times. And mostly that will be through Discord. That's how we communicate. This person that you're putting in charge of general manager, they don't need to know video games, but they should know a little bit about coaching and proper coaching techniques needed. The game club sponsors, again, it's more about coaching and mentoring than it is actually coaching the games. The kids can usually handle themselves a little bit with just a little bit of guidance. And then, like the last thing I put on there, they must be an active participant. I just talked about how, we can't just drop off the kids and let them play. That is usually the clubs that have that type of general manager usually tend to be the ones with more issues than others. If you have any questions at any point, just go ahead and drop them in the chat or in the Q&A. I'm watching both of them. So feel free to put them in there. So after you pick your general manager, the next step you need to do is hold a club meeting. It's important to include students and their interests during this time. Don't say, oh, I love League of Legends, so I'm going to force our school to be part of League of Legends just because that's the game that I love. Make sure that your schools are on board for it, because it's just going to be a better environment when your kids aren't miserable playing the games that they are. So definitely get their input. Don't force games. Find out what they want to play. We have a lot of kids who play different games, and IHSEA might not provide it, but there's definitely a couple of communities on here that want to play OSU, which is a game that's kind of competitive in it. There's kids trying to get fighting games put on here that we just don't have the bandwidth to run at the moment. But we're definitely encouraging schools and students to put on their own tournaments and run their own things to get that experience until we are able to find something official. At this club meeting, make sure you find your student leaders. Find someone who you can trust. This is when you could start to pick your executive board. Dalton talked about that a little bit in his session, and I talked about it with one of his executive board members during my session. Find your leaders who are going to help you run the club. It's really important to include them in some aspects because there are many different parts to a club. Sorry, it's getting warm in my room. Last thing is hold a parent meeting. You have to include all stakeholders in this, and I definitely would include a parent meeting as informational, kind of tell them about the stuff that you learned this week, because I think that was really important, all the talks that we've done and all the things showing that esports isn't just competitive gaming, and let them know what it is. That was the one thing that when I talked to the parents yesterday, that they said, yeah, just, we know how good this can be for kids. Like, you need to talk to them and let them know, hey, they're not just sitting at a desk playing a game for all those hours without any other skills being learned. So it's super important to include the parents so that they are aware of what's going on, because it's a new realm and a lot of people don't understand what the current atmosphere of scholastic esports is. Next, decide what your club has the capacity to do. After you have your student meeting, after you find some leaders, figure out what you want to do. Are you going to be focused on the competition side, or are you only going to be focused on the competition side? Are you just trying to run an athletic team? Are you going to have a casual club version of your esports organization? A lot of times this is where it all starts from, is that casual club group, and then it moves into competition. That's kind of what it has been in the past, up until the last like 4 or 5 years, where the competition side really has taken over. But most schools have a gaming club, have an anime club, have a board game club, a collectible card game. Like, all of these technically can fall into the esports club. It's all almost the same kids over and over again. If you wanted to, this casual club can meet 5 days a week, as different realms meet on different days and different games meet on different days, kind of just to establish that community. And then the last one, which is the hardest one that many schools have not been able to establish, although some have been able to do it, some sort of curriculum. There's curriculum out from NASEF, as you heard from our keynote speaker earlier today. There's also a lot of other places that are starting to develop curriculum and get it certified to actually teach the kids after school. So do you want to have something where you're showing them how to do graphic design work? Are you showing them how to stream? Are you showing them how to do YouTube or manage social media? There's a whole realm of business curriculum that you can apply to esports. Do you have the capacity to do that? Usually curriculum is one of the last things to come, and that's perfectly fine, depending on what your school has for business and tech. It's a lot of times the ones that have some curriculum incorporate it right into those classes, and then they can transition from those classes to esports. So that's what you should be lining up for when you start the school year, is figure out where you align, getting everything all in order here. Now, while we figure out what we're going to do, we have a couple other things. So our competitions, we're going to talk about first. Our fall schedule is going to be Rocket League and Overwatch. This is the same as last year. Team registration for Rocket League and Overwatch will close at the end of September. The season will start the first week in October. The LAN events are scheduled for December 11th and 18th. Obviously, permitting all COVID restrictions, everything is okay. We're hoping to have our LAN final event. All are welcome to come, but it will be primarily for the top teams to compete live and in person. So please make sure, if you have teams and you feel they are competitive, or you just want to go on a field trip, we're hoping to have some colleges and things at those events to be able to talk to players and possibly scout and just have a good time at these events with other people who are like-minded. Definitely jot them down, and obviously we'll be passing on information for locations when they have been locked in. For winter, we're going to have Super Smash Brothers and League of Legends. Registrations are going to be a little weird for this one. We're going to be trying to hit them up before everyone goes on break, but they will officially be due like the 1st of January because the season starts right after that in January. So we want to make sure that our stuff is locked in. For League of Legends, we're hoping to have our LAN events on the 11th and 12th. Although that's still up in the air. We still have to figure out how that season is going to work because officially IHSEA cannot run a League of Legends tournament. So we're going to help other groups run tournaments to do that. So we will definitely inform you once we nail that down. That needs a lot more work than some of our other games. And then Super Smash Brothers is super interesting. Dalton, I'll let you talk a minute about what those are going to be because those are a little different.
Yeah, so basically we just know the Smash community doesn't want to play online. Our Smash kids want to have those in-person big tournaments, similar to how the Capitals Classic was a couple years ago. And so what we're going to do is offer 2 of those. We're going to have one January 22nd at Naperville North High School, which Coach Church is going to be overseeing, and then one February 19th, where we'll crown our champions at Springfield High School, which I'll be overseeing. And then in between those, leading up to each of those, we're going to be offering friendlies, which are online. So if kids want to stay sharp, they just want to be part of the community, want to play more than just those 2 tournaments, they'll be able to play on those Thursday nights. But the actual competition will happen those 2 Saturdays. and then players will accrue points based on their placement. And then we'll give the top 3 players in the state trophies. And as well, we will give the best overall team in the state a trophy for the best team. So that's going to be really exciting to finally return to an environment Smash Kids want to play in, which is those big in-person tournaments.
Yeah, we're definitely excited to get those in-person events because that was the biggest thing that was lacking from this past year, is not being able to do them. And it kind of, if any community was hurt most by that, it would be the fighting game community. But it looks like most of them are bouncing back pretty big. A lot of these last few tournaments I've seen on social media have been gigantic because everyone's excited to be back. So we're excited to have them back too. So if you have a good Smash squad, definitely set aside both of those days. We expect you guys to be able to be at them no matter where you're from in the state. So. All right, and then our winter?
Spring.
It should be spring. That was my bad.
Spring.
It's a spring. Spring schedule. Our spring schedule will be Fortnite and Valorant. Registration will close. I mean, technically, it's still closing in winter. It's still closing in February, so it's winter plus. Season will start at the end of February. For Fortnite, there will be no LAN. Epic Games does not allow organizations to do LAN events for Fortnite at the moment, unless they get special agreements. That's essentially only Epic Games that gives those out to themselves, or very big people. They do not give them out to littler organizations like ours. So there will be no LAN event for Fortnite, but we will have a playoff date on there. Once we announce all the schedule and everything. Valorant, the LAN event is April 30th. So that is the idea for that. Again, we will announce all the locations and all the details as we get closer. We should have all of that by the time the season starts. So that way you can start arranging buses and etc. But you can definitely jot down those days if you want your team to attend our event. Again, feel free if you have any questions. Again, more details will be coming out as we get closer to the year, as we make sure all of our I's are dotted and T's are crossed. But definitely stay tuned for all of that. So what is next? A couple of other things. Besides you getting your club up, registration for this year will open in the middle of August. So we're hoping to get it up in the next 2 to 3 weeks. No firm time of when that's going to open up. We're trying to wait on these platforms to figure out how we're going to set up registration on there. Our fee is changing this year. Last year, we went from a registration fee as well as a tournament fee for each tournament for some games and not others. And we thought that really wasn't fair to some schools. So this year, we have a $100 flat fee for each school or co-op. So some districts are running co-op, Springfield. Why am I spacing on the other one? Unit 5 was a co-op last year. And there's a couple other groups that have been asking us about co-op teams. Yes, we allow co-ops, but you definitely have to talk to us to let us know how this co-op is going to work. But it is a $100 flat fee all year. What does that mean? Well, for $100, that means that you can participate in every varsity and junior varsity game that we have every season to the maximum amount of teams that are allowed. So depending on the game, some are allowed more teams in the varsity bracket and some allow less. And those will be in the rules. But essentially for $100, which compared to the other organizers out there is a steal, you can have up to at least 24 different teams participate for that $100. Essentially, you can reach 100 kids at your school and have them participate with us for just that $100. It definitely will affect some schools who only played in one tournament or another. But I think overall, as a group, this is the best way to do it. My goal is to find enough sponsorship to be completely free. So we really want to have everything be as accessible as possible for everyone in the state. So we're hoping next year or by the end of this year that we'll be able to locate sponsors for our next season, and then we will not have to charge a dime for everyone to participate. That is the idea, and that's one of the main goals for IHSEA this year. We will also have a mandatory orientation session. This is mainly going to help you show how to handle the platforms, So that way you're not just watching videos, you have someone to live walk you through some demos and what you should be doing. Somewhere near the end of August, we should have that, which should give us enough time to get all the teams set up by October. And those will be varying times that you can sign up for our trainings, but it's more just to acclimate those who maybe didn't attend this, and then also to walk you through whatever applications you're going to have to use. This also is, like Dalton said, is the first time that we'll be able to see a lot of people face to face. So again, like you said, it was really nice to meet a bunch of people here. And so we will be able to meet people there. Like sometimes when I did my sessions last year, it was the first time I got to meet the coach, even though I had been talking to them for years. And it's so nice to actually put faces to names, like you said earlier. We did have a question in the Q&A. The ISB form for the PD hours, that will come out probably by Monday next week. So please check the email that you registered with. So we're definitely going to make sure you guys get your ISB credit hours for those that did attend and present today or this week. The next thing that we ask is participate in our community. Definitely join our Discord. There's a lot of stuff I already talked about. It's a safe community that's moderated. It's not, open for anyone to communicate whatever they want. It's about creating relationships across the state, connecting with other coaches and administrators. A lot of times people don't realize what other people in their district are doing esports if they're not in the same loops and things like that. So you never know, your other neighborhood school could possibly be doing esports and you might not even know about it. So this is a way for us to all get together. This is all definitely a way for students to get recruited by college. We do allow certified college coaches to recruit, and then they can also find the coach for the team to reach out to the student and contact them that way. But a lot of times they'll post their information on our Discord for them to be able to, students to be able to look up and see what they offer. Number one, this is the biggest place for communication with IHSEA staff. I have a lot of people who reach out to me saying, oh, hey, can I get a phone call? I need to talk to someone about something. Or, hey, can we meet? Can you answer this email? On Discord, we literally have over 200 coaches across the state that are able to help out with questions if one of the staff is not available. All the staff are volunteer. All of us either work or teach during the day. Some are even students. But we want to make sure that everyone is able to reach our community and access the full potential of what that offers. And then we do allow students in there. Like I mentioned earlier, they must follow the code of conduct. We kind of align with that strictly. We want to create this positive environment for everyone. And so that's what we strive for. Next thing is spread the word. For those who showed up here, let everyone know. Our webpage is there, IHSEA.org. Our Twitter is IHSEA_org. Our Twitch, which we will hopefully start podcast up in the next few weeks here, is there. So we'll do that once a week or once every other week at least to start. And then YouTube. I don't have a custom link for YouTube, but you can find that on our website. So definitely spread the word, talk to other people in your district, talk to other people in your area, tech coordinators, whoever it might be, let us know. Let everyone else know what it is. Rodney was asking about the different days for competition for each game. Essentially, we are looking at our schedule. We want to try and have all game days for our two games be Wednesday and Thursday.
That is the goal. Well, we're not exactly sure if it's going to be one or whatever on which day. Right now, the proposed is Overwatch Wednesdays, Rocket League Thursdays, and then times can be negotiated between the teams. But there's some other discussions that have to take place. They could possibly flip. We don't know yet, but that's why we're that's why it wasn't on the slide, because we're not sure about that. But we can tell you like the general dates. Like have your rosters ready by early September. Games will start early October.
Yeah, and we're definitely trying to stick to have it be 2 days a week, the same 2 days for almost all the seasons. That way you can have everything organized the way it is. I know there are other tournaments that might play on those days, but a lot of times they're not working with us and talking with us about their schedule, so we don't really want to have to wait for other responses if they're not already communicating with us for their schedule.
And on that note, too, what we a lot of times see in those tournaments are running and not communicating. They have a wider window for when you can play. So there's definitely ways if you wanted to play, if we have to play our match on Wednesday, you can play theirs Thursday, Friday, Saturday a lot of times, and that works out. So like Coach Terp said, we will tell you if we're deviating from the plan. But the plan is that when you can expect to play Wednesdays and Thursdays for all 6 of our games throughout the year.
Yep. And then the penultimate slide, we need help. So these are all the list of different positions that we have available. We have graphic design, web design, social media marketing, application programming, like programming bots and other things that we could use for statistics. I can't talk anymore. Technology support, especially someone who's a G Suite admin and knows a lot about that. It definitely would help some of us handle some of our stuff that we may not be qualified to do. Curriculum coach and leader, if someone wants to help us create and write curriculum. College liaison. I actually didn't even put it on here. What that's also really important is grant writer. We love to be able to write grants and get money, not just for us, but for our schools. Like our goal is to make sure every school is outfitted for this. So be able to write grants and, help schools be able to do that. We're looking for tournament organizers, not just for the tournaments that we have, but if you love Halo and you want to start a Halo tournament in the future, we definitely would love to get you on board now to start figuring out how to plan on how to do that. Because that's a big game that's coming out. We also have a lot of students suggesting other games, but at the current time, we just don't have enough bandwidth for help. So we'd love to have help with adding extra games. I'm hoping to possibly add some fun tournaments this year if we have time in between or at the end of the season for games that maybe don't get a lot of attention. We also need help moderating that goes in Discord and in Twitch. For those who are already on Discord and are very comfortable with it, if you'd like to help run our community, reach out to us. Shoutcasters, our intern lead, game committees. We definitely want to start up some game committees so we can talk about rules for the future, have people involve, students and teachers. Charity lead, so helping us run our Extra Life campaign, as well as some of our other campaigns that are run through schools, like the Capitals for the Cure that was run last year, and other groups that want to run charities. And then definitely we're looking at having a DEI lead, somebody to really focus and help us navigate diversity, equity, and inclusion, as well as legal and financial help. If you know anyone that's a lawyer or maybe a kid's parent is an accountant, definitely have them reach out to us because we definitely could use help on some of that. And then we will be opening up our board later. So if you know someone who wants to be on our board of directors, we're hoping to have some stuff up before the end of the year to add some extra bodies to help make our decisions on how we will move to the future. So if you have any ideas or have any parents who might want to help out in any way, or any of your teachers or coaches who are interested in esports in any of these fields, or if they have any other ideas that are not covered in this 12 bullet points here, we are willing to accept them and have them come in and join our group of staff here. So definitely let us know if anyone can help us out. Last, we just want to thank everyone. Thank everyone for everything that you do for your school. Thank you for taking the time to attend this conference in the middle of your break. And remember, we're here to serve you guys. We're not some beholden company that has shareholders or trying to make a profit. We're here to provide the people in Illinois, students, schools, administration, with what they want to get out of esports. So if you don't like anything, if you have a suggestion or you want to comment on something or have a clarification, we are all open. Feel free to email us. You can email me. You can email anyone on staff. I will forward it along to whoever you need to get to. If you have anything, we are here to serve you. And thank you for being here.